What do we got? What else do we got?
Dune.
Dune. Yeah, we got some not set photos, actual like Vanity Fair promotional photos.
Oh, did Annie Leibovitz take these pictures?
I don't know. Who's that?
That's before his time, Matt.
She doesn't know who she is?
No, he
Is that the lady that does all the Star Wars ones?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I know. I just don't know her by name. I think they look pretty... Okay, so coming from somebody who... I tried to read the book and I couldn't get into it. I tried watching the old movie. Couldn't get into that.
Yeah.
It's a weird-ass movie.
I'm really having a hard time getting amped for this movie. Everybody's telling me, Dune is going to come out. Dune's going to be the greatest movie of the decade, blah, 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 blah.
It cannot get any worse than the last movie. And I say that with trepidation because it's not a challenge. Please don't make it worse.
I don't think they can make this movie without it being weird. It's a weird series.
It's okay to be weird. It just has to be like
well
fun
done.
Weird. Well done weird. Because there's a lot of weird, awesome movies out there. But that David Lynch movie...
You just got to go balls deep in the weird.
Well, that's what David Lynch did.
Too much.
See, I really like the David Lynch Dune because I'm a fan of David Lynch, and that was kind of like my first exposure to Dune. It's what got me to read the book. Yeah, but I really like David Lynch's Dune simply because I like David Lynch movies, and it got me reading the book, and I really love the book. And there's a great series of videos on YouTube for people out there who don't have the patience for the books called The Ultimate Guide to Dune. It's on the Quinn's Ideas channel. And he basically does these documentaries that cover each and every book from beginning to end, tells you the story, tells you the characters, and gives you kind of like insights into how they fit into the overall like saga, because the story of Dune takes place over like the course of like 3,000 years. And that's just like what the books cover. Like the amount of like world building before that happens is like, even longer. And like, it's just such a rich like world that Frank Herbert built. And Frank Herbert was like a really astute wordsmith. Like his stuff is almost like poetry. Mm-hmm. And, Kevin J. Anderson, who he's the author who's working with Frank Herbert's son, Brian Herbert, to make all like the prequels and the sequels and stuff like that. I actually know him because I'm a professional author. And it's interesting because Kevin J. Anderson also wrote some really great Star Wars books in the expanded universe. So getting to talk to him about Dune was like kind of like eye-opening for me. And I'm also a fan of Denis Villeneuve, who has made some really great movies, like the one that made Jude Ugly cry for 2 hours straight, Arrival.
Oh God, I love that movie.
Yeah. And I felt like Blade Runner 2049 was an excellent film.
That was a great movie.
So like he's got a good pedigree to him. I think he's the right guy to be handling this movie. But I was kind of underwhelmed by the set pictures that came out. Like, I didn't think that they were very interesting, other than seeing like some of the armor designs that they're wearing in the movie. But beyond that, I just felt like it was just kind of like meh.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like everyone's like, "Oh, holy shit! Did you see?" And I was like, "Yeah, I saw."
Poe Dameron with some cool armor on.
I'm excited for it. I hope it's going to be good. I love the book. The first movie was super weird, and I'm excited for this to come out. But Jude, I didn't go bananas over the
Can you tell us some of the differences between the book and Lynch's movie?
I don't know that I can now. It's been a while since I've read the book, and then the movie was so hard to get through. I think I blocked a lot of it out on purpose.
I don't know. I mean,
what did I say about it? I remember I watched it in the bathtub, and I came out, and I was like, I almost drowned myself. That was rough.
Comic Book Girl 18 did a YouTube book club about Dune, which was actually like really interesting as well, because like she'd cover like the chapters that they would read, and then she'd kind of like have like a little discussion about it. That's something I would recommend people who maybe aren't familiar with Dune watch as well.
I remember that I hated Sean Young as Chandy. She was not a good fit for that character. I felt like that's really all I remember.
There were a lot of differences, like in the book. One of the reasons they don't use guns is because they have shielding technology that's so advanced that you can't kill anyone by shooting them anymore. So the only thing that can penetrate these shields is slow moving, like stabbing objects. So people learn how to use like swords and knives and stuff. And that's a really cool way to kind of get back to like the really awesome melee combat stuff that you see. And a lot of the characters in David Lynch's movies were very different from how they were portrayed in the books. Like, for instance, in this Dune, Jason Momoa, another reason why Jude's probably going to be excited for this.
I'm pretty jazzed.
You didn't like his picture either? He was all.
I saw it.
It kind of looked like his character from
I
C.
like any picture where Jason Momoa is in it. I follow that dude on Instagram.
So he plays the character Duncan Idaho. And Duncan Idaho has a big role to play in the series. Yeah. And then you got Josh Brolin as Gurney Halleck, who was played by Sir Patrick Stewart in the David Lynch version.
Is there a...
The cast is just so good in this.
The cast is really
Is there a character
I'm
named,
excited for them.
Is there a character named Winchell's Montana? No?
Not that I know of.
You're so weird. Okay, so I don't know anything about Dune. I don't know anything about it. I think it's very interesting, but these set photos actually got me excited.
I mean, I would have been excited had I seen a sandworm.
Seeing Oscar Isaac in his like dope ass looking stormtrooper uniform with his big old freaking beard, I was like, yeah, where did that glow up come from? That was pretty awesome. And then you get to see who's the guy from No Country for Old Men?
Josh Brolin.
No, not Josh. Oh, he's in it too, but the other guy, the bad guy.
Isn't everybody in Hollywood in this movie? In some
Just
way or
about
another?
anity big enough to be in it is in it. Zendaya, she's in it. I think.
Oh, God. Zendaya's in it? Oh, shit, dude. I am down.
Javier
Count me
Bardem.
in.
Javier Bardem.
Oh, my God. Who else?
Jason Momoa.
Is Adam Sandler in it?
Will Ferrell's in it.
Oh, shit.
Jim Carrey.
And I'm so down. Oh,
Jim
man.
Carrey's in it.
And Mark Wahlberg and Donnie Wahlberg.
And the Wahlberg who makes the burgers.
Fucking Zendaya. God almighty. That's Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber. Toby Maguire.
Sting is reprising his role.
God. He looks exactly the same. It's from all that tantric sex.
All right, well, I'll just go for myself then. Who cares about this movie?
Zendaya, guys. Woo! There's my spaz out moment for the day.